Welcome back, seekers of truth, into the cold recesses of the forbidden archive. Today, we are not opening ancient history pages from thousands of years ago. We are about to open a still fresh wound from the modern century, a conspiracy hiding behind pop culture nostalgia. You might know Stranger Things, the adventure of children in the fictional small town of Hawkins fighting monsters from another dimension. But what if I told you that Hawkins is just a mask, and 11 was not the only one? The reality is far darker, embedded at the eastern tip of Long Island, New York, a place called Montauk. This is the true story of mind experiments, child abduction, and humanity's desperate attempt to tear the curtain of reality and play God. This is the archive, the Montauk Project. This story centers on Camp Hero, a decommissioned Air Force base that stands silent and haunting. The most prominent feature is the giant AN/FPS-35 radar dish looming like a colossal skeleton on the horizon. Officially, this radar was the guardian of America's East Coast during the Cold War, but for the locals, it was the source of nightmares. Witnesses reported strange electronic disturbances, mass headaches, and unnatural animal behavior. The legend begins with a controversial book by Preston Nichols. He claimed that beneath the radar lies a labyrinth of underground bunkers. Nichols, an electronic engineer, claimed his erased memories slowly returned. He remembered working in a secret facility that operated long after the base was officially closed. Montauk Project is said to be a continuation of the infamous Philadelphia experiment in 1943. If the Philadelphia experiment aimed to make ships invisible to radar, Montauk aimed to make human minds invisible and controllable. They shifted from physical stealth technology to the most extreme psychological warfare. And this is the darkest part, the chapter that makes this case the real inspiration for the nightmares in Hawkins. Their experimental subjects were not voluntary adult soldiers, but rather the most vulnerable, children, often referred to as the Montauk Boys. They were snatched from the streets or taken from orphanages. No one looked for them. No one knew they were there, deep underground in cold, damp rooms. The goal was gruesome: to break their will, erase their identity, and reprogram their minds. This was advanced psychic driving, a derivative of the infamous CIA MK-Ultra program. These children became guinea pigs to test the limits of human psychic abilities. The main instrument in these experiments was called the Montauk Chair, or Seeing Eye Chair, a chair modified with coils and sensors connected directly to the giant radar dish above ground. The idea was to use the radar as a mind signal amplifier. A psychic sat in the chair and their thoughts were broadcast outwards. Initially, they tried simple things, influencing the mood of locals, making them suddenly angry or sad. However, their ambition grew beyond control. They wanted the power to manifest. This is when the line between science and occult blurred at Montauk. According to survivors' testimonies, the subject in the chair was forced to visualize objects, and with enough energy from the radar, the object would appear physically from thin air. This was no longer telepathy, it was the creation of matter from pure thought, the power of God in the hands of broken men. And now let's dive into the deepest part of this archive, the most censored and denied, the creation of time portals. Scientists discovered that with certain frequencies, they could tear the fabric of space-time. They claimed to have sent agents to the past and future, including attempts to alter the outcome of World War II. The time tunnel at Montauk became a gateway to the unknown. However, every door opened has a guardian. This is the origin of the Demogorgon in the real world. The event known as the August 1983 incident. A very powerful psychic subject, Duncan Cameron, was pushed beyond his limits in the chair. In a chaotic trance state, he visualized a monster from his subconscious fears, and the monster became real. Witnesses called it Junior, or the Beast. The creature rampaged through the underground complex, destroying equipment and attacking personnel. The only way to stop it was to cut the power source. Preston Nichols and his colleagues had to destroy the equipment connecting the chair to the radar. As the connection broke, the monster slowly faded back to its original dimension, leaving destruction behind. After the incident, the gates were welded shut, the tunnels were flooded or blasted, and the memories of everyone involved were wiped using the same technology they developed. Camp Hero is now a state park. People picnic under the shadow of the giant radar. They are unaware that a few meters beneath their feet lie buried remnants of horror. However, there is a more horrifying detail rarely spoken of, something beyond mere military experiments. Some whistleblowers claim that the Montauk project was not just about the Cold War. They claim contact with non-human entities through the portals they opened, that the technology used at Montauk, some of it did not originate from this Earth. Is this mere delusion from minds broken by experiments, or a truth too alien to accept? To this day, the Air Force denies everything. For them, Camp Hero is just an old radar base, but for thousands who believe, and for the Montauk boys who are now adults but with shattered souls, that place is a monument to human greed for power. We often consider fiction as an escape from reality, yet in the case of Montauk, fiction is our way to process collective trauma too dark to face directly. The Upside Down might not be real, but the bunkers beneath Montauk are real, and the most terrifying monsters are not from another dimension, but those hiding within human ambition. This archive will now be closed again, but the echoes of the screams still linger within these walls. If you dare to stare back into the darkness with me in the next episode, use your key. Press the subscribe button and ring the warning bell. See you on the other side of truth.